The TLC reality series 19 Kids and Counting, which ran from 2008 to 2015, brought the Duggar sisters a lot of attention. The program followed the lives of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's big Arkansas family. Many of the daughters went on to start their own lives after the show was canceled because of a string of scandals involving the Duggar family. This script gives a thorough and objective update on the Duggar sisters' current situation, covering their personal growth after 19 kids and counting, as well as their careers, public appearances, and family life. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's eldest daughter, Jessa, has stayed single and still resides in Arkansas. Jessa, who is well known for her independence and quiet nature, has prioritized housework, gardening, and taking care of her younger siblings. She keeps a low public profile on social media, but she occasionally posts. Jessa has publicly stated that she is happy with her life and is not in a rush to get married, despite rumors that she is single. She still provides support to the Duggar family and has participated in mission trips. Perhaps the most vocal of the sisters in recent years has been Jill Duggar Dillard. Jill has been married to Derek Dillard since 2014 and has 3 sons. Since leaving the Counting On spin-off in 2017, the couple has cut ties with the Duggar family. Jill has been open about her upbringing, including problems with independence and family control. In 2023, Jill released a memoir called Counting the Cost, in which she talked about her childhood, how she broke away from the family's hierarchy, and how she tried to set limits. She and Derek have been outspoken supporters of therapy and mental health. The Dillards are now self-sufficient and place a high value on openness in both their personal and parenting lives. Duggar, Jessa, one of the more outspoken Duggar sisters, is still Seewald. Jessa has 5 kids and has been married to Ben Seewald since 2014. She regularly posts updates on Instagram and her YouTube channel. In addition to interacting with fans about motherhood, housekeeping, and lifestyle, she keeps promoting Christian faith-based content. Jessa has made minor changes in her presentation, such as changing her opinions on parenting and modesty, even though she has mostly remained consistent with the larger Duggar family values. Despite having a miscarriage in 2022, Jessa went on to have another child and continued to post about her family's accomplishments on social media. After leaving her roots in Arkansas, Jinger Duggar Vuolo and her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, now reside in Los Angeles. Compared to some of her siblings, Jinger has adopted a more contemporary lifestyle since getting married in 2016. Alongside her husband, she is the author of several books, including Becoming Free Indeed and The Hope We Hold. She has 2 daughters. Jinger's most recent book examines her own transition from the Institute in Basic Life Principles legalistic doctrine to a more grace-filled understanding of Christianity. She has been candid about how her opinions on spiritual freedom, personal autonomy, and modesty have changed over time. Jinger still keeps in touch with her family and shares family and religious content on social media, even though she has distanced herself from some parts of her childhood. Joy Anna Duggar Forsyth became a mother to 3 children after marrying Austin Forsyth in 2017. She resides in Arkansas and regularly shares family-oriented, home-building, and religious content on YouTube and Instagram. Due to a late miscarriage, Joy and Austin lost their second child in 2019. Joy has talked candidly about the psychological effects of that encounter and her path to recovery. Joy and Austin are frequently spotted at Duggar family gatherings and uphold a traditional family structure. Even though Joy and her siblings are still close, Joy has quietly acknowledged some parenting and lifestyle differences, which reflects the diversity among the Duggar sisters after the show. Unlike her older sisters, Johanna Duggar is not yet married or involved in public life. She is one of the younger Duggar daughters. Johanna, who was born in 2005, has remained quiet. she can occasionally be seen in Duggar family social media updates and in family photos. Considering her age, she has not assumed any public positions or voiced any personal opinions, and her future plans are still under wraps. The youngest of the Duggar sisters, Jennifer, Jordan Grace, and Josie, were young when 19 Kids and Counting aired. Since the family's reality shows were cancelled, these younger siblings have largely been raised. The youngest, Josie, was born early and garnered a lot of media attention because of her early health issues. However, based on sporadic public appearances, she seems to be doing well these days. Since Jennifer, Jordan, and Josie are still minors and have not yet made public decisions about their personal beliefs, education, or careers, it is unclear what their futures hold. Summary of the sisters' main themes. 1. Family life and marriage. The older Duggar sisters are mostly married and have children. Each has approached family planning, parenting, and household organization in a slightly different way. Their levels of conservatism differ, but they are all based on Christian principles. Joy and Jessa continue to adhere more closely to the traditional Duggar family norms, but Jinger, in particular, has embraced a more contemporary and nuanced interpretation of her faith. 2. Lifestyles in public and private. There is now a distinct difference between the sisters who have remained in the public eye and those who have opted for seclusion. While Jonah, Johanna, Jennifer, Jordan, and Josie keep a low profile, Jinger and Jill have written books and are now public commentators on their past. Joy and Jessa are in the middle. They share family news, but steer clear of more in-depth criticism of their upbringing. 3. Connection to the Duggars' parents. According to Jill's public statements, her relationship with her parents is strained because of past family dynamics and conflicts over autonomy and control. Although less forthright, Jinger has also expressed disapproval of some of the family's religious doctrine. Joy and Jessa regularly attend family gatherings and group activities, suggesting that they have maintained closer relationships with their parents. Despite her lack of communication, Jaina's continued presence in the Duggar household suggests that she is close to the family. 4. Changes in religious beliefs. The IBLP's teachings, which prioritized rigid gender roles, modesty, courtship over dating, and authority structures, were instilled in all of the Duggar sisters during their upbringing. Some sisters have re-examined these lessons as adults. Jinger has actively advocated for a break from IBLP doctrines and has been the most outspoken about her change in views. Additionally, Jill has adopted more adaptable Christian beliefs, such as therapy and counseling. The other sisters have either stayed within similar belief systems or have not publicly spoken. 5. Social media and media engagement. The sisters share content about motherhood, lifestyle, faith, and home life on social media sites like YouTube and Instagram. Each of Jessa, Joy, Jill, and Jinger has a substantial fan base and frequently shares sponsored content or works with brands. They have been able to stay in touch with their fans and retain a certain level of financial independence as a result. Jaina rarely posts on these sites, and the younger sisters are not active. 6. Taking part in books and documentaries. Jill co-wrote a memoir and was featured in the documentary Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets. Among the many books Jinger has authored is a critique of the IBLP. Their involvement in these initiatives marks a significant departure from the perception that was promoted during the 19 Kids and Counting years. Other sisters, such as Joy and Jessa, have taken a more impartial stance in public by abstaining from these critical reflections. Since 19 Kids and Counting ceased airing, the Duggar sisters have each forged their own distinct careers. Their adult lives show a wide range of personal choices, public roles, and relationships with their family and faith. The second season of Shiny Happy People has brought renewed attention to the Duggar family and the belief systems associated with their public identity. In this season, the docuseries expands upon what was introduced in Season 1, focusing on a range of revelations and first-hand accounts from individuals with direct or indirect connections to the family, the Institute in Basic Life Principles, and the wider culture surrounding them. The series aims to provide a deeper exploration of controversial topics including control, authority, spiritual abuse, gender roles, and personal healing journeys. Many voices come forward in this season to offer new details, question long-held narratives, and bring further insight to viewers. Throughout the season, former family friends, ex-IBLP members, and insiders connected to the Duggars give testimonies that further challenge the legacy of public wholesomeness the family built during their time on reality television. The season also draws attention to how many people were influenced, both positively and negatively, by the systems that shaped the Duggar household. The producers of Shiny Happy People have made it clear that their purpose is not to attack individuals but to examine institutional ideologies and the long-term effects they can have on families and individuals. They present a complex portrait, where each episode adds another layer to an already controversial topic. One of the major focuses of Season 2 is the continued impact of Bill Gothard's teachings. As the founder of IBLP, Gothard's materials heavily shaped the Duggar family's approach to parenting, education, and community interactions. Former IBLP members speak out about what they describe as a culture of silence, obedience, and suppression. Many contributors describe emotional struggles and experiences of cognitive dissonance as they grew older and began questioning the teachings they had been raised with. While the Duggars themselves have not directly participated in the series, their story remains central due to their long-standing association with IBLP and their prominence in evangelical media. Season 2 presents accounts that aim to show how the family's reality television success helped normalize certain beliefs to a broader public, some of which, according to the docuseries, have had harmful consequences for many individuals. Several key revelations emerge over the course of Season 2. One recurring theme is the manner in which hierarchical authority was portrayed and enforced. Multiple interviewees mention how decision-making in IBLP-centered homes rested almost exclusively with fathers, with mothers and children expected to submit without question. Critics argue that this dynamic fostered a lack of individual autonomy, particularly for women and girls. New voices in Season 2 also detail how the IBLP framework extended beyond theological principles and into practical life management. Topics such as dating, education, music, media consumption, and even clothing were strictly regulated according to Gothard's teachings. The series presents examples of how these rules shaped behavior and self-perception, with some former members describing their upbringing as highly restrictive and isolating. A number of episodes highlight the experience of survivors who now reject IBLP ideology. These individuals, many of whom were once deeply committed to the organization's teachings, share how they eventually left the movement. Their stories often involve years of internal questioning, struggles with guilt, and gradual exposure to alternative worldviews. According to these contributors, the process of unlearning the doctrine of fear and control was painful but necessary. Season 2 also touches upon the political ramifications of the IBLP and related movements. Experts and former insiders discuss how the group's influence extended into political circles, with some IBLP adherents working to promote legislation and policies that reflected their values. The docuseries implies that the reach of such organizations is not limited to religious communities, but has social and civic implications as well. Several participants in the series draw a direct line between what they experienced in their families and what they witnessed in broader organizational settings. According to them, the ideologies promoted in seminars and materials were mirrored in their households, sometimes leading to unhealthy or even abusive environments. One frequently cited concern is the lack of accountability structures, which some argue enabled harmful behavior to go unchecked. The series takes care to include a variety of perspectives, not all of which are in agreement. Some individuals who grew up in IBLP-influenced homes share more nuanced or mixed experiences. While acknowledging some of the harms, they also express gratitude for aspects such as family bonding, discipline, or a sense of purpose. Others remain loyal to certain teachings, even if they distance themselves from the broader institution. Notably, the docuseries includes commentary from individuals who worked behind the scenes during the Duggar family's time on reality television. These contributors provide insight into how the family's values were packaged for mainstream audiences. According to these sources, there was a clear strategy to highlight certain aspects of Duggar life, like family unity and modest living, while downplaying or omitting more controversial details related to their belief system. Season 2 also examines the ripple effect of the Duggars' fame. As the most prominent face of the IBLP lifestyle, the Duggars inspired many families to follow similar paths. The series includes testimonies from viewers and admirers who tried to emulate the Duggars only to later confront difficult realities. For some, the contrast between the polished image on screen and their own struggles created feelings of inadequacy or confusion. The question of transparency remains a key issue in Season 2. Contributors repeatedly ask why more wasn't revealed about the IBLP's inner workings or the Duggars' actual practices. The docuseries argues that for years, the public only saw a carefully curated version of Duggar life. Now, with more people willing to speak out, a fuller picture is coming into view. An important element of Season 2 is the attention given to recovery and healing. Former IBLP members and those close to the Duggars describe how they found new communities, underwent therapy, or pursued higher education as part of their personal transformation. These stories are not framed as complete conclusions, but rather as ongoing journeys toward greater self-understanding and freedom. The role of women within IBLP is another prominent topic. The series outlines how girls were often groomed for roles as homemakers and mothers from a very young age. Formal education was often secondary to domestic skills, and modesty was heavily emphasized. Some contributors speak about the psychological toll of being told that their value was tied to submission and service. Others describe how they internalized shame or fear, only later realizing that these feelings were rooted in ideology rather than truth. The docuseries also provides context for how organizations like IBLP manage dissent. According to several interviewees, those who questioned leadership or policies were often marginalized, rebuked, or removed from the community. This climate of control and conformity discouraged open dialogue, reinforcing cycles of silence and compliance. Another significant aspect of the season is the exploration of parent-child dynamics within fundamentalist environments. Viewers hear from adult children who recount feeling emotionally neglected or spiritually manipulated. Some describe long-lasting effects on their mental health, including anxiety, depression, and identity confusion. The series does not claim that all IBLP families were abusive, but suggests that the structure of the belief system often prioritized authority over connection. The docuseries also examines the use of discipline within IBLP teachings. Some former members discuss specific methods of punishment that were promoted in training materials or seminars. These accounts are presented with care, but they raise important ethical questions about how spiritual teachings were used to justify certain forms of control. Throughout the season, Producers incorporate archival footage, excerpts from IBLP literature, and public statements from the Duggar family. While the Duggars have largely refrained from responding directly to the series, Season 2 references past interviews, blogs, and books that provide insight into their perspectives. Viewers are encouraged to consider how public narratives may differ from private realities. The cultural relevance of shiny happy people is addressed in later episodes. Commentators note that the popularity of the Duggars occurred during a broader period of interest in Christian fundamentalism, purity culture, and alternative education. The docuseries places the Duggar story within a larger framework, illustrating how media, religion, and family intersected in unique ways. Several contributors express hope that the series will encourage critical thinking and compassionate dialogue. They argue that while it's important to expose harmful practices, it's equally vital to understand why people are drawn to such systems in the first place. Themes of vulnerability, trust, and belonging are revisited throughout the season as core human needs that ideologies sometimes exploit. In its final episodes, Season 2 of Shiny Happy People poses difficult but necessary questions. What happens when faith-based systems go unchecked? How can individuals protect themselves from spiritual manipulation? What does recovery look like after leaving high-control groups? These questions remain open-ended, but the series offers real-world examples of people who are working toward answers. The season concludes with a renewed call for accountability and transparency. Contributors emphasize the need for ongoing conversations about power, belief, and personal agency. While the Duggar name remains central to the docuseries, the issues raised extend far beyond one family. According to the series, the goal is not simply to critique, but to foster awareness, empathy, and reform. Season 2 of Shiny Happy People presents a complex and multifaceted narrative. Through new revelations, personal stories, and expert insights, the series continues its mission to uncover the deeper truths behind public facades. For viewers seeking understanding, the season offers a lens into how faith, media, and authority